folks, my name's Chuck Newt, and I'm here with the Winking Pig Barbecue, and you're getting ready to watch a new episode of Chuck's a Cookin'. And today we're cooking a roasted chicken. And I know it's a pretty simple recipe, but some people may be just starting out and learning, and this is a nice easy recipe to learn with. Anybody can do this provided you got a pan and an oven. It's also very easily transferred from your oven to a smoker. The only major difference is that with the smoker you're going to be using a lower temperature and it's going to take a lot longer time to carry out. So let's get turned around and see where we're going with this. Alright, so I've got a little bit of a trick question for you here. And the trick question is, which one of these pans is okay to roast a turkey in, or roast a chicken in? Actually, only two of these probably would work to roast a turkey in. Now, first of all, I got over here on the far left, I got a roasting pan. And the roasting pan is just made for roasting. I mean, you can do other things in it, but it is made for roasting. And it is quite large, and you can fit quite a large bird into the roasting pan to include your turkey. Here we've got a really large skillet with these deep sides on it, and we got a foil pan. And then with this one we got a cast iron. It's not exactly a skillet, but it has a lid here. And so the answer to the trick question is any of these can be used to roast a chicken in. And now, one thing you need to know, because this is going to go in the oven, you notice this skillet has this nice metal handle on here, and it's got metal rivets into the skillet, into the pan part, and so it can be put into the oven, because when you're roasting you're going to be using the oven, and so that you do not want a skillet with plastic handles to stick into the oven. They may melt on you, and you don't want that. But as long as you've got an all metal pan, you can put your chicken or your turkey in it. Now, even a small turkey is probably going to be too large for this, and it's certainly going to be too large for this, although this is quite sufficient for a small chicken. The roasting, or the foil pan here, you can absolutely roast a chicken. In fact, this is what I'm going to use today. You can absolutely use this to roast a chicken or a turkey. Now, you'd have to get a bigger version for a turkey, but it'll work. And so obviously the roasting pan will work to roast a chicken or a turkey in. But like I said, you can use all of these to roast a chicken in. But today we're going to go to the cheap route and use the foil pan. So let's get this stuff removed, and I'm going to show you where we go from here with our roasted chicken. Alright, so we've got us a chicken here, and now this one here is says 6.12 pounds. So it doesn't really matter what size your chicken is. The important thing is that you've got yourself a chicken, and so we're going to take it over here and we're going to take it to the sink, because the first place you need to go with a chicken is to the sink. So follow along. Okay, so here we are at the sink, and you'll see I got some nitrile gloves on here, and that's because I'm working with bird. Anytime you're working with bird, you want to make sure you got things clean. We've taken the bird out of the plastic wrapping that it came in. The first thing we want to do before we do anything else, and this doesn't matter if it's chicken or turkey, usually you're going to find a bag inside here, like so, and you need to move that out and take that out of your chicken or turkey. And next thing we're going to do, we're going to come over here and turn on some cold water, and we're just going to rinse it off inside and out. Now, if you're worried about your chicken or turkey touching your sink here, then you can do like I did and bleach it before you stick it in here to sanitize your sink. It's not too too necessary really, because you're going to sanitize it when you cook it. Now then, next thing we're going to do, I will have to wash these knobs off here shortly on the sink. There's just a flap of skin right along here on both sides. Not really, this is the butt end of your chicken or turkey. Sometimes you will find maybe a flap of skin or something around here, around the neck end, and you want to remove that. So next we're going to dry it off. Grab a roll, about 3 or 4 towels. And we just want to dry the excess water off of the chicken or turkey. So, done here. Now I'm going to let the chicken sit in here while we do some prep work over at our pan. So we'll be right back with that. We can take our gloves off for now. For the time being, we're done with the chicken. Alright, so I got some vegetables lined up here. I got an onion, some celery. I'll just go ahead and take out of the bag. We're going to take 3 or 4 of these carrots out of the bag. There we go. Now we're going to take our onion. We're going to slice this dude right in half. It's going to make it kind of easy to skin the thing. Famous last words. This onion's got a little bit of a spot on here where I'm going to cut out. Too happy with that. Now then, we're going to take our onion, just kind of go like so, down and through. There you go, some dice. We don't really need a dice. Looking for more chunks. I'll tell you why here in just a moment. Now, and all this can go right into the bottom of our pan. We're going to take our carrots. We're just going to cut off the plant end. Maybe this big hunk will cut in half. Goes right into our pan here. Take about 3, maybe 4 good stalks of celery. Kind of line them up together, cut some of the top off. Cut these big wide bottoms off, like so. And we're just going to large chunk these as well. There we go. Those can go into our pan as well. Now we got ourselves a nice pretty pan full of roasting vegetables here, or vegetables to roast, let's put it that way. Alright, so let me get my stuff cleaned up here, the workspace, and we'll be right back with our chicken. Now, before I get into our chicken, I got some spices here that we're going to spice our chicken with. In this one, what we've got is 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And I use light salt with this one. Over here in this ramekin, we've got 1 tablespoon of ground sage, 1 tablespoon of parsley flakes, 1 tablespoon of rosemary leaves, and 1 tablespoon of thyme. Now then, we want, with our leaf spices, you're going to want to take a spoon or a measuring spoon or whatever, good and hard, and you want to just kind of crush them up a little bit. And the reason being is because they've been dried out, and you want to kind of just unlock some of the flavors that have been locked away in those leaves to kind of release them, release the flavors, that is. Okay, so we've got that done. Now we'll bring our bird over here and we'll get started with it. Okay, so there's our bird. Now, and the purpose of the vegetables underneath, obviously it's going to give some flavor and we can eat them afterwards. However, the purpose in your roasting pan for the bird, or for the vegetable, is to keep the bird up off the bottom of your pan, because you don't want your, if you're roasting, you don't want your bird down into the juices, because then you're going to have boiled bird instead of roasted bird. Because right now we don't have any liquid in here, and we really don't have to add any liquid to it at all, because the bird will end up providing its own liquid as we go. Now then, I'm going to flip this bird over so that it's breast side up to start with. I got a clean hand and a dirty hand here. And I've got some liquid margarine here. And we're going to kind of give it a little bath with the liquid margarine. Now the margarine, it really isn't going to add a lot of flavor to your bird. The big thing we want the margarine for, 1, it's going to help it to brown, and 2, it's going to help these spices to stick to our bird. So we're going to start with our salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. And we want to get a little liberal with it. I mean, got to save enough for the other side. Just kind of rub it on, make sure, kind of get the undersides of things here that you may not be able to hit. You can even dump a little bit on the inside there if you want. Okay, so we're going to save that. Now we're going to use the other ramekin that we have the leaf spices in, and we're going to kind of get some on here. Do a little rub maybe. Drop a little on the inside down there. It's not going to hurt it at all. We're going to save that. Now we're going to flip our bird over one-handed. And we're going to do the exact same thing we just did on the other side. Like I said, you can do this exact same thing with a turkey. By the way, we've got our oven over here preheating at 350 degrees. And you want to do that. Now then, we're just going to take our spices again. We're going to kind of use up the rest of what we got here. Now, for me, I mean, this is totally discretionary on your part, how you want to do it. But for me personally, I like to roast my chicken and turkeys with the back side up, because the back is dark meat and there it is juicier and will help to self-baste your chicken or turkey as it roasts. Now you're not going to end up with the nice pretty brown breast that everybody likes to take a picture of. And if you're going to do it for commercial purposes, such as smoking your turkey or whatever for commercial purposes, you may well want to go ahead and make sure you do the breast side up so that your customers can have that nice pretty bronzed breast that everybody's oohs and ahs over. But me personally, I'd rather have the juicy breast, because I really don't care much for dried out breast meat. In fact, most of the time I'm strictly a dark meat kind of guy, because I like the juiciness of the dark meat. Now I got a little bit left over here, and I'm just gonna kind of drop it down inside. Same with this salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Down inside, kind of rub it around a little bit, make sure we get. So there we go. We got us a nice looking chicken. It is ready, almost ready, to go into the oven. So I will show you why I'm going to tell you almost ready, and I'll be right back. Okay, so when cooking chicken or turkey, especially chicken or turkey, but all meats in general, temperature is very important. And I am not going to roast this bird to a certain time. I'm going to roast this bird to a certain temperature. Now then, with a chicken or turkey, the guideline says to roast it to a dark thigh temperature of 175 degrees or breast temperature of 165 degrees. So these are very important tools here. These are all thermometers that you can use to probe your meat with to find out an internal temperature. And you just kind of jab it in, take your temperature, and when you get to your desired temperature, you're done. Now, and this thermometer here is actually a remote thermometer that I have a receiving unit, and I can put one probe takes the temperature of the smoker, and the other probe we stick into the meat, which I'm going to do now. I'm going to stick it right in here into the thigh. There we go. Now, we do not want the probe up against the bone, and we want it into a thick part of the meat. Now I'm going to remove this probe because I don't need to know what temperature my oven is, because it's going to stay at my steady temperature, and I've set it at 350 degrees as I told you a minute ago. Now if you don't have this, this is about a $40 thermometer. It's a ThermoPro TP08, and you can get that on Amazon, and I'll give you a link to it. But these, either one of these other two will work just fine. This one came from the Wally place. This one here I think came from eBay, but somehow I ended up getting one that only reads in Celsius, and so that's the reason why it's in the house instead of out in the smoker stuff. So, but it works just fine, provided you know what temperature you're looking for in the Celsius range there. So now then, we are going to take this bird over here to the oven, and we're going to stick it into a middle shelf. Alright, so we're just going to set that right up in there, like that, 350 degrees. We're going to turn our thermometer on. Yes, we are. Now then, I don't know if you can can hear that, but it's kind of thunderstorming outside. So right now it's telling me the internal temperature of that bird is 53 degrees. Okay, so we're looking, since it's in the thigh, we're looking for 175 degrees. So when it hits that temperature, or actually I'm going to set it for 170 and we'll check it. Just want to see how brown it's getting and we'll go from there. Alright, so our thermometer is right now reading 179 degrees. So it's ready to come out of the oven. You could actually take this all the way up to 185 if you wanted to. It's not going to hurt a thing. There you go. A beautiful looking bird. And our thermometer can come out. Alright, so now then we are going to let this rest for, I'm going to say, half an hour. And just let it do its thing here. So it'll absorb some juices back into the meat. And we'll take our obligatory taste test. Okay, so we're back to the chicken again. Now it has been a half an hour or so. And this chicken is still temping out at 167 degrees, so it's still plenty warm. Now then, if your chicken's done, you ought to kind of be able to just kind of go like that and pull it apart. Right there came your whole thigh quarter. So obviously you know this chicken's done. Now then, I'm going to get a little plate, because you know what time it is, right? There we go, got a whole chicken quarter right there, and we'll be right back. Okay folks, well first of all let me start by apologizing because I screwed up and lost one of my cameras there. I can still piece it together and still make a kind of an acceptable video. Certainly not what I had intended, but I think you get the general idea of things. But yeah, I've already started. As I'm making this, I've actually gone ahead and started, and while the bird was cooking, I've gone ahead and started to edit on this video. So that's how I figured it out. Of course, you know, I was heartbroken that that happened, but I can't very well go back and redo without getting a whole new bird, and that's just not going to happen right now. But, you know, the bird turned out great, and so you know what time it is. My favorite part of the bird, the thigh and the leg. Okay, so the chicken turned out perfectly. Now from start to finish, it took about 3 hours. That includes the rest time at the end here. Now then, what am I going to do with all this chicken? Well, it's the Saturday prior to Thanksgiving 2017. And the meat is going to end up going into chicken and noodles for Thanksgiving. The drippings are going to end up going into dressing for Thanksgiving. And you should be able to very shortly be able to find the videos for both of those, like right up here. So take a look when they get there, and in the meantime, do me a favor, hit like and subscribe down here at the bottom. It helps a lot. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. There's more to come.